morning, everyone. It's Marg with Creative Stamping with Marg. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Albert, Alberta. Today is June 13th. It's Tuesday morning, and I have a couple things on my desk. If you were with me last week, I did show the flyer for the Designer Series paper sale that Stampin' Up! Is having. 13 of their Designer Series papers are on sale for 15% off for the whole month of June. So really good time to buy your Designer Series paper if you're looking at any of those things. Also, the starter kit promotion right now, all of June. You can choose $206 worth of product and you only pay $135. That's no shipping, no GST. You will also get a paper pumpkin kit to have a look at in there, and you will also get some business supplies if you're wanting to do the business, and if not, you would be getting a discount as a discount shopper. So that's a really good deal right now. If you're interested, you can always go to my website and contact me, and I can help you get started with that. Okay, today our card that we're making, most people call it an envelope flap card. I thought it would be a good one to use some DSP. So today, the DSP that we're using is Irresistible Blooms. Or sorry, Hollow Irresistible. Sorry, that's what it's called. It's an online special, and these are the papers that I'm using today. So it's this paper, and it reverses over to just this really subtle print, which is to coordinate with the soft seafoam cardstock. So that's what I'm using today. We're going to start with a bit of a different sized card because it goes on a backing. So this backing, there's the soft seafoam. This is 5.5 by 4.25. So it's a quarter sheet of your 8.5 by 11 paper. So it's just a single piece. So that's going to be the back of this card. The card itself is 8 inches by 5.25, and it's scored at 4, so it's a little bit different. Now all these measurements will be underneath my video. If you scroll down, you'll see all the measurements that I'll post. So it's a little bit different, but it's smaller because we want it to fit on this backing and have a bit of an edge around, like that. Okay, so that's our card, and you can see that I've done a little stamping on the inside already. You'll need a square of DSP. This square is 3 3/4 inches square. So you can tell that I had cut it off of one of these other pieces of paper that I was showing you. I cut it out of there. Okay, and we're going to fold it on the diagonal. So turn it into a diamond, and you're going to fold it, whichever side you want to be showing, because it's going to be on your card like this. So this is the flap that's going to be showing. So I do want, for my card, I do want the leaf pattern showing. So I'm going to fold it on the diagonal. Maybe I'll put my mat on here so that you can see what I'm doing. So I didn't score it with my cutting and scoring tool, or the Score Pal. I am just folding it, and it folds quite nicely. Use your bone folder to make it nice and crisp, and it's right into your triangle that you want. So what we're going to be doing is attaching the triangle to the back of this card. We're going to glue it right on there, and you're not going to see that back because we're going to then attach it to this. So that's how this card works. And then the flap would open like this, and you can open your card. So first off, we're going to glue this flap on. So I'm going to use my Tombow liquid glue. Get it started here this morning. And this particular paper pattern doesn't really have a direction, I didn't think, so it looks fine that way or that way. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to put just the white glue just on one of these triangles. And I try to get right to the corner, just like that. And it's going to be glued, like I said, on the back of your card. So here's your card. There's the inside. I've actually already done some stamping there, you can see. So that's where I want this. So I'm going to just place my card there. And I want to be able to fold this, so you can fold it over, but it's only glued on the back there, as you can see, just like that. So it's just glued on the back, and there's the front. All right. Okay, so now for this card, I thought we can go ahead and glue this onto the back piece like this. Might as well go ahead and do that. So make sure that you've got your card the right way, and you're just putting glue all along the back and sticking it down onto the cardstock. All right. So again, you just want to have a little edge all the way around. Even, as best as we can. And press that down. Just like that. And again, your card opens like this. So there we have it. That's basically what it's going to look like. Now, for this particular card, I decided I would take the other side of the DSP that I chose. Is just a real subtle pattern. And I cut it 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So it just has a tiny bit of a border on the white card. And I ran it through the embossing folder, painted textures. So it just gives it some nice texture, I thought, and we're going to glue it onto there. So I can go ahead and do that also. Okay, so we're just going to glue it on the front of the card. Again, it's just going to have that little bit of white border showing, just like that. And that's what it's going to look like. It's a fairly monochromatic looking card. Now, the Irresistible Bloom stamp set is the one I'm using today. Again, it's an online only stamp set. So it has some cute flowers because somehow we have to make this flap stay down. So we're going to put some kind of either a die cut or something that you cut out, a circle, a square, whatever, to hold that down, that you can like tuck a flap underneath. And I'll show you how we're going to do this. I thought, you know what, I would use the flowers that are here. So I have stamped them already onto white paper using the soft seafoam ink. And I thought we could arrange them to hold that flap down, just like that. And we'll be able to tuck the flap underneath. All right, so I did cut two, a small one and a big one. And I thought, well, I can figure out how I'm going to put these two together, and then I would put them up on dimensionals so that they're standing up a bit so that they can hold that. So I think I am going to glue them together somewhat like that. I do have a greeting, and I use the Stylish Shapes dies to cut this greeting out. And I thought somewhere we'll tuck this in. And I did die cut some of the leaves. And these dies are all in the Irresistible Blooms dies. So I did some white leaves and I did some soft seafoam leaves because I just wasn't sure what I wanted to put on. So we can figure out how that's going to look. All right, so I think I will glue these two flowers together, but before I do that, I want to give them a little bit of dimension. So I just take my bone folder, or you can use a pencil. You've seen me use a pencil before. And I just roll them all ways and just give them a little bit of dimension so that they don't lie perfectly flat down. Okay, that one. This guy a little bit. So these are the two sizes of flower stamps that are in that stamp set. And then I die cut them with the coordinating dies. All right. So I think I will put them together. I'm going to just look at my card again. I'll bring my card back up here so you can see it. And I think if I have the blooms somewhat like that, that I can just use them as my closure. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom of petals of this flower and attach this one to it. it like that. I think that'll work. Okay, give that a minute to set. And then I thought we could attach the leaves to the back of it, or we can attach the leaves right to the card if we wanted. And I just didn't know if I wanted to use, I think I'll use a combination of the white and the green. So if we are going to put the flower on like this, on dimensional, so that we can tuck this underneath, I'm thinking, do I want to have my leaves on the paper, or do I want them? I don't think it really matters. So we can attach the leaves maybe right to the back of the flowers. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of glue to the front of this leaf and then tuck it in under here like this. Just as long as it doesn't interfere with this flap, we'll be fine. And I will take maybe a different shaped white one, just to make it a little more interesting. And I will attach it here. Okay, just like this. That looks good. And then I think maybe we're going to need something over here. So I will put this green leaf on the other side just to balance it off a little bit. Like that. That looks pretty good. And then you're going to put this up on dimensionals so that you can tuck your little flap underneath it. Okay, so I'm going to put it like that. And I'm thinking my greeting can go right down at the bottom. And I think I might glue the greeting right down. It won't be on dimensionals. I think that will look the best. So I'll just go ahead and put my glue right on that. And I've chosen Hooray, It's Your Day. Thought that could be, it's a pretty general greeting that could be used for a lot of different occasions. Could be a birthday, could be an anniversary. There. All right, I don't think I need the rest of these leaves. And I'm going to turn that over and put some dimensionals on the back. Now, the trick with this is you have to make sure that your dimensionals are not where the flap is going to be. So the top of the flower, the bottom of the flowers, and over to the side, but not in the middle, really, so that you can get that in the right spot that it'll be able to go underneath. So I'm going to take at the top, and I can do it right over top of those leaves, and at the bottom. There's another one. And then I want one, maybe I'll do two here just to make sure. There's one there and one here. And that should be enough, I think. So peel your backings off. One more here. There we go. And then we're going to put it down on here like this. I think I can kind of tuck it. That looks good. Let's see. Easier for you to see if I put it on my silicone mat. There. And that can tuck in and underneath easily. There we go. So there's the card. I did bring some of the iridescent pearl basics because I thought that might be a good option for this card. I need my take your pick tool. Here it is. And I was thinking I might even use the pearls in the center of the flower. I thought that might look nice. Both flowers like that. And then maybe, because I stamped kind of over to the right hand side of that, I think maybe I will put some small pearls maybe just right there. Just put a small one right there. All right, so there's our card. So an envelope flap card. So there you go. And opened, and I did stamp one of the leaf images from that same stamp set. I stamped it off and then stamped it on there. So that's all that card is, but it does use a little bit of DSP, which we're looking at using right now, especially during the sale. We'll show you a couple of other cards that I made using the same technique. This one, this is all retired paper, of course. This one is done exactly the same way. Opens like this. I've used a circle die for this one, and it's up on dimensionals. These leaf pieces that came from this stamp set are die cut, and they're laid right flat. So this is a very monochromatic card. Okay, and that's what it looks like on the back. Same. This is Sahara Sand, if you're wondering, which is a retired color. And I added a bow for that one. No gems on that one. This one was done a little bit differently. Same premise, where it is the envelope, and it opens up to this. And this uses the hand-penned designer series paper, which is also retired. But this is a regular sized card. So this card is actually a white card that is our regular base, which is 8.5 by 4.5 scored. Is that right? 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. So the white card is our usual size of card. So then I had to cut this square. It's 3 7/8, this one. But what happens is this doesn't have a back on it. So what I did is I glued it on the back, but I just trimmed off the rest of the triangle that would have been here. I just trimmed it off. So you do see that on the back. So if that bothers you, you're better off going with the dimensions on this one, which you don't see the triangle on the back. But this was done, like I said, with a full-sized white card. So I just wanted to show you that also, that it can be done with a regular size card. You just have to cut your flap a little bit longer this way so that it'll fit on the card. But I used, a piece of DSP here, the square of DSP here. I used the contour dies and cut that piece of DSP out. So there's a lot of DSP in this one. All right, so there's the 3 cards. They look, relatively similar just because of the flaps, I guess. Sorry, this one's giving you a bit of glare with the foil. But that's kind of a fun card to do, and an easy way to use up some DSP. And makes just an interesting fold. I am a person that really likes cards that stand. Well, once your recipient opens the card and reads it, they can stand it by tucking the flap in like that. So it does stand, but it doesn't stand if you have the flap closed. All right, so that's our card for today. Next week, I'll have another card using another piece of DSP. And hopefully my order will have come and I will have some of the new DSP out of the catalog I've ordered on the sale. So hopefully it will all be here by then. All right, I hope everybody has a great week. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to catch me every Tuesday, you can subscribe to my channel. All right, have a great week.